So I think this series is just basically going to be an excuse to get 3 of my favourite guitars out every week and just have a blast on them. But the premise I've come up with, I hope, is going to be quite fun and interesting for you guys to watch. Now, this is like the natural culmination or continuation of my Strat journey. If you saw sometime end of last year, I made a video about how I play or how I learned SRV's Lenny, and that really got me back into the Strat, and it did. And I was playing my John Case 63 style Strat then. I didn't know that 6 months later I'd have a real 63 Strat sitting here, and that feels like the bucket list thing to have done and to find and to have and to play. I didn't really at all think, even less so than that, did I think I'd have this one and this one here. These are both Masterbuilt guitars. This is a Paul Waller HSS hardtail. So it's got a humbucker in the bridge, 2 single coils, and it doesn't have a trem. So it's a hardtail. And it's a 50s style with hand-wound Josephina pickups, except the humbucker, which is made by Paul Waller himself. We're going to talk more about that. And here is a Ron Thorn Masterbuilt, and this is a 58, but with a 54 neck. And I learnt when I went to ATB to buy this 63, and I played a real 58, that the neck is much smaller than on this guitar in reality. And so this is quite interesting. I think a lot of people would like this, which has that bigger, thicker neck of a 54 type guitar. But maybe, I don't know why a 58 would be better otherwise. I'm just rambling. I love it. So each week I'm going to come up with a rig, or each video, sorry, it may not be every week, that I think is great for Strats for different reasons. And this week we've gone for tweed. So I've got a Lazy J J10. It's a 10-watt tweed with a blue Alnico speaker in. And I've gone for the left-hand side of the Mad Professor Supreme, which is basically the Royal Blue Overdrive. It's meant to be from boost to low gain, and I love using it with Strat. It just opens up and gives you that massive Stratiness. And what shocked me in this video, actually, because the little clips at the beginning was when I just first plugged this in a couple of days ago. I know I'm wearing the same shirt, but I wear this shirt a lot. And I thought, whoa, this rig is just blowing me away. It sounds like SRV, even though it's a tweed amp. I don't know how, and I don't know how such a small amp can sound so big. And I don't know how I'm going to beat this rig for future videos. But basically, each time I'm going to come up with my favourite of the 3 guitars, and I'm going to sort of talk you through and tell you what I feel when I'm playing them and what the differences are. So let's just have some fun with it. Let's dive straight in. We're going to start with the Paul Waller HSS and see what it sounds like. So I've got to start by saying that was one of the most fun 2 minutes of playing I've ever had in my life. I hadn't picked up the Paul Waller for about a month because I've got these other 2 guitars that are newer to me, and I just hadn't got round to it. And I'm also doing the Les Paul versus SG series, which will continue next week, and plugged this in, and oh my god, this Strat is, in fact, for about 5 minutes after I bought the Thorn and the 63, I thought, I'm going to sell the Paul Waller. As amazing it is, am I going to still play it? And there was a couple of people interested in buying it. I'm not selling it. No. It's just ridiculous. So in the neck position, it feels like the biggest sounding neck position I've got on any of my guitars. And in the fact that it's got the humbucker in the bridge gives you something completely different. I think it works so well with tweed. I find that the Les Paul and the SG through the tweed are just phenomenal, and so it doesn't surprise me that this slightly compressed sound works so well with that sort of amp. But in fact, I've got to show you a clip of just the amp without the pedal. So let's just hear that just for 20 seconds. I just want you to see what this pedal is doing. Okay, so you can see that, you know, the amp, actually if I crank this amp fully, it would sound massive and a bit like what it's like with this pedal, but the fact that it's not, and this pedal is doing that, tells me that that pedal is something quite special. So, what I'm keen to hear, out of all these three guitars, the comparison between the two maple board Strats. They're not actually maple boards, you know, they're one-piece necks. So we've got to hear the Ron Thorn, because it's also got the Fat 50s pickups. And so it's quite interesting to hear what the difference is. And I wasn't sure what the difference would be, but we'll find out now. So the difference is pretty drastic. I mean, considering they're both Fat 50s pickups and considering that they're both maple necks, you can tell what the fact that the hardtail, what that's doing, it's making the sound a lot more direct. And with the tremolo one, there's a little bit more hollowness or scooping there and a more open sound. When it comes to the bridge position, I mean, I thought there'd be a difference. And when you're playing the Waller by itself, you think it sounds pretty open, but I'm surprised at how much more compressed it sounds in comparison. It's not a bad thing. They do different things to each other. You can really get different sounds out of it, and that's what makes it such a great pair of guitars to have, so versatile and really for completely different sounds. Even with the same rig, they do not sound similar really at all. They're both massive sounding neck pickups. The Paul Waller one is something just like, you know, really crazy. I think I've never found another guitar that sounds that big. No matter what I plug it into, it just sounds like that. But the Ron Thorn has this real traditional sound that I want and wanted to have available to me, so I just really enjoy that. Now, we should find the biggest differences to the next guitar, the 63 with the rosewood. Now, a little bit about this guitar. I bought this recently, and I've played it quite a lot off camera. I've not used it a lot yet in videos because I needed to get used to it. It's got quite a big neck, not as big as the Ron Thorn, but a different shape, I feel like it's more of a V shape rather than a U shape. And the neck pickup is very slightly microphonic, which does affect it slightly. I've played around with it a lot. I've pushed the pickup as far into the body as it will go, which I think makes it better. And it's got a slight ice pickiness in some positions or with some amps. It just depends what you're playing. But on the other hand, I find it has a harmonic richness that is more unpredictable with those old pickups than it is with the new ones, right? They've got age to them and they've changed slightly from probably what they were originally, and it's still surprising me and like delighting me as I'm learning how to play it. I enjoy playing it a lot. I haven't had it really set up by a professional. I've done what I wanted to do to it, but I might take it to someone and do some more stuff to it. But yeah, I still walk in every day and look at it and look at all three of them and just think, yeah, in the end, after all my buying and journeying towards this point, I did find 3 guitars that I'm just in love with, amongst some others that I've got. So, okay, let's hear what the difference is. So, I don't know if it should have surprised me that how this sounded quite different to the other two. In a way, the other two are more similar to each other than they are to this one. And whether it's because it's rosewood or the type of pickups or just the guitar that it is different. It sounds slightly less open and big in some ways, has a bit more focus to it and a bit more roll off on the top, which you might expect with rosewood. I'm yet to find the soul of this guitar. Like I can't tell you, or I can't pick it up and play to you exactly what I think it's best at right now. Every time I'm picking it up, I'm still finding out different things about it depending what I'm plugged into. It's a real character of a guitar. If you said there's a gig you can go and play at in 2 hours, just grab some stuff and go, I wouldn't take this guitar because I haven't got a definite idea of what it is in my head. Like I thought a 63 Strat is a 63 Strat, but I think, the weight of expectation means that I'm often thinking a lot when I play this, and it's going to just take more time for me to just figure out exactly what this is. So, in terms of with this rig, what I think is my favourite, I think I want to hear back the Paul Wallet and the Ron Thorn. I don't think the 63 is my favourite for this rig. I think the 63 would sound pretty great through any rig, really. But I'm sort of, as we go through the weeks and this series, you're going to hear more and more of it. Hopefully we'll define a bit more what it's all about with that guitar. Let's hear back the other two a bit more, and I'll decide which is my favourite this time. So I wonder if you could decide which of these three would be your favourite with this rig. Actually, my favourite's a bit of a surprise to me this week. It's the Paul Waller HSS. I've got a feeling this guitar has an unfair advantage because it is different to any other Strat that I've got, completely different. And that humbucker just gives a different facet that you can play around with that makes it stand out from the crowd. But with this particular rig, it just fit in so well. Everything I played, well, let me put it this way. I plug in a guitar, pedal and an amp, and you play a little flurry of notes or some chords or whatever, and you get an instant idea of what you could create with that. And this week, the Paul Waller felt like the easiest one to play. I just plugged it in and went for it, and so enjoyed it. So whatever it means, this particular time, the Lazy J, the Mad Professor Supreme, the left-hand side of it, and the Paul Waller Strat are, well, in fact, once I finish this video, I'm going to go and play for another hour, because it was just that sort of thrill that you get from a great rig. Not to say the other two were slouches at all, but they had me thinking. And I feel like what defines my favourite guitar out of the three each time will be the one that I don't have to think about. Just play and enjoy it. So if you're looking for a pedal if you love Strats and you're looking for a pedal to inspire you, then I'd say at the moment the Supreme has been for a while my favourite Strat pedal. There's something special about the way it pushes an amp that so fits a Strat and gives you the tones that you want with it. The right hand side of it is a little bit more gain and really good with your bridge pickup as well. And sometimes I flick between the two. It's a great pedal. I don't think it has the hype of like the Duelist or the Protein behind it for some reason. But, I think the fact that Matt Schofield has this, or this is his signature pedal, I think that tells you everything you need to know. So, yeah. I didn't think I'd be picking the Waller. I sort of thought of the Waller as the sort of black sheep of my Strat family. But maybe that's why I love it so much. So, yeah. I hope you found this one interesting. I've struggled, it's hard to market this sort of video because it's really just having some fun. So I'm not sure what the thumbnail and the title are going to be to make people watch it. But if you've enjoyed this, then if I get enough feedback from this, I'll make a second video and then hopefully a third, fourth, fifth. So next time, maybe it's time to get the 2-rock on the channel. So I'll try and make a rig based around that. If there's enough interest and enough comments and whatever. But yeah. Okay, if you made it this far in the video, this is the last video in which I will need to plug my giveaway for 6,000 subs because I'm at 6,050-ish now. The Kingtone Duelist, one of the best pedals I've got. This is the older style one and I've got the new one. I'm giving this away anywhere in the world. You need to be a subscriber and you need to comment on a video. You've literally got about 18 hours after this video goes out. I've been reminding everyone as we've been going along. Your sub needs to be public. So if you go into a web browser, not the YouTube app. Go up to the top right hand corner, hit your avatar, the little circle, go down and find settings. Once you get into the settings, on the left hand side, hit the privacy button, and then you'll get a setting which says, keep my subscriptions private. If that's turned on, then I can't see that you're a subscriber. So turn that off if you want to be in this. And after I've given this away in the next day or two, then I'm going to tell you what the next giveaway is, which should be pretty exciting. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.